Somewhere on the Danube frontier, probably around 170 AD, the most powerful man alive is sitting in a tent that smells like wet wool and campfire smoke, writing to nobody, not a speech, not a decree, just notes to himself. In Greek, a language he didn't even need since he ran the whole Latin-speaking world. He was fighting a war he never wanted against tribes that kept crossing the river no matter how many times Rome pushed them back. And somewhere in the middle of that mud and blood, he sat down and wrote that his real home wasn't Rome at all. It was the world. Every person in it his fellow citizen, including, presumably, the guys on the other side of the river trying to kill his soldiers. That's a strange thing for an emperor to write. And it's an even stranger thing for us to actually need right now because, be honest, most of us spend a lot of energy these days figuring out which team we're on. Here's the problem. Plainly, we're constantly being handed a smaller identity and told to wear it like it's the whole truth about us. Your nationality, your political side, your online tribe, the one that agrees with you about everything and treats the other tribe like a different species. It feels almost involuntary at this point. You scroll for 4 minutes and you've already been sorted into an us and a them. Usually before you even had an opinion of your own. And once you're sorted, the smaller identity starts acting like the only one that matters. You stop being a person who happens to live somewhere and start being a representative of somewhere. Defending a flag you didn't even design. Nobody really warns you what that costs. It's exhausting, for one thing. Constantly on guard for the other tribe. But it also shrinks you. Because a person who only belongs to one small group has fewer reasons left to be decent to everyone outside it. Marcus Aurelius, oddly enough, ran the largest, most diverse empire that had ever existed and somehow landed on the opposite conclusion. Not less tribalism. No tribalism at the root at all. Just one very large tribe, all of us, and 3 specific reasons why that's actually true. Rule 1. And this is the one that actually holds the whole thing up. He builds it almost like a proof, one link at a time, in the meditations. If our intellectual part is common, the reason also in respect of which we are rational beings is common. If this is so, common also is the reason which commands us what to do and what not to do. If this is so, there is a common law also. If this is so, we are fellow citizens. If this is so, we are members of some political community. If this is so, the world is in a manner a state. Read that slowly because it's basically a chain. Reason is shared, so law is shared, so citizenship is shared. You didn't apply for this citizenship. You didn't earn it either. You got it. The moment you were born capable of thinking clearly. Same as the person across the river. Same as the person across the aisle at work who votes the way you can't stand. I'll admit, the first time I read that chain of, if this is so, it felt almost too neat. Like a rhetorical trick somebody dreamed up on a slow afternoon. But sit with it a beat longer, and it stops feeling clever and starts feeling kind of obvious. We already treat reason as universal in every other context. 2 + 2 is 4, whether you're Roman or Marcomannic. So why would the moral version of that logic suddenly stop dead at a border? Rule 2. Your smaller identity is real. It's just not the whole story, and you're allowed to hold both at once. Marcus never asked anyone to pretend they had no hometown. He was famously blunt about his own. My nature is rational and social, and my city and country, so far as I am Antoninus, is Rome. But so far as I am a man, it is the world, he wrote. Notice the structure there. 2 answers, not one, and neither cancels the other out. As Antoninus, a specific guy with a specific name and a specific job running one specific city, his home is Rome. Fine. But underneath that name and that job, he's also just a man. And as a man, his home is everything. You get to keep your name, your family, your neighborhood, your team, and still recognize a wider citizenship sitting underneath all of it. One that was there before the smaller labels showed up and will still be there long after they're forgotten. Rule 3. And this is the one that actually turns the idea into a practice instead of just a nice thought. You don't merely believe you belong to the world, you actively say yes to it. The way you'd say yes to a hometown you're genuinely proud of. There's a passage where he practically writes a love letter to the universe itself. Everything harmonizes with me, which is harmonious to thee, O universe. Nothing for me is too early nor too late, which is in due time for thee. Everything is fruit to me, which thy seasons bring, O nature. From thee are all things. In thee are all things. To thee all things return, he wrote. And that does something almost playful with it. The poet says, Dear city of Cecrops, and wilt not thou say, Dear city of Zeus? He's quoting a line Athenians used about loving their own city, Cecrops being their mythical founder, and then he just flips it on its head. If you can love a city that's small, why not love the one that's actually infinite? Why would your affection stop at the smaller, prouder version when the bigger, truer one is sitting right there waiting? So, practically, 3 things to actually try this week. First, next time you catch yourself sorting someone into them, pause and remember the chain from Rule 1. Same reason, same law, same citizenship, whether you happen to like the person or not. Second, hold both identities at once instead of picking. You can stay loyal to your specific city, your specific family, your specific team, and still recognize the wider one underneath it. That's not a betrayal. It's just accurate. And third, actually say it out loud or just quietly to yourself, the way Marcus did. Dear city of the universe, not only dear city of my own little corner. None of this means drop your loyalties or stop loving your own street, your own people. Marcus never did. He ran an empire and defended a river border for years of his actual life. Remember, it just means the smaller loyalty stops being the whole ceiling of who you're willing to treat like a person. I'm honestly not sure I fully mastered this one myself. There's still some small, stubborn corner of me that flinches at a stranger before it remembers the argument. But the argument's there, waiting, every single time. Patient about it, the way good arguments tend to be. That's the whole trade Marcus Aurelius is offering from a muddy tent on the edge of an empire almost 2,000 years ago. Swap the small defensive tribe for one honest, enormous citizenship, held together by nothing more exotic than the plain fact that you can think. If any part of that loosens something in you, subscribe to Stoic Mind. Every week, we go straight into the actual text. No secondhand paraphrasing. Just Marcus, Seneca, Epictetus in their own words. Until next time, Stay steadfast.